gentlemen, the scene was set last night in Denver, Colorado, with the young 6'8" phenom coming in at behind the gate. At the end of the game, he throws the ball, and boom! Out goes C.J. Anderson, runs in for a touchdown, and terrific Tom Brady and the Patriots are knocked down on Monday night. Welcome to Monday Morning Quarterback. I'm the Dream, and my boy, the Mad Hatter's in the house with me.
Yo, what's up, man? Great intro today, brother. The Osweiler gets it done, man.
The Big Os.
The Os spoils the perfect season for Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. And Gronk goes down last night, brother.
Gronk goes down last night, dude. A lot of injuries yesterday, dude. The injuries in football, it's like, I mean, it's bad.
Oh, my God, I know. You got a bunch of them that went down yesterday, man. We got, let me take a look here. Jimmy Graham goes down for the year with a season-ending knee injury, brother. Ouch.
Dude, I cannot believe that, and everybody's talking about, that they don't practice, the new bargaining unit and what they've done. I just don't, I mean, it looks like there's some proof to that, but I don't understand. That doesn't really theoretically make sense.
Well, I don't know if it makes sense or I mean it just kind of I guess they're saying that the lack of hits to the body, the vibrations from the hits on Sunday are stronger because you're not used to getting hit all week.
Yeah, but that doesn't that doesn't make sense to me though. Does it make sense to you?
I know, guys. What we're talking about right now is the fact that there's a lot of injuries that have been happening in football. I mean, football is a game of injuries, though. I mean, we've seen that for years and years. But what they're saying is that the injuries are more apparent now because of the players are not hitting in practice as much as they used to based on all the new rules that the NFL has come out with. I'm on the fence with a Dream. Okay. I'm not really sure if I guess that's, said by doctors and stuff like that, but hey, who knows? I'm not a doctor, so I couldn't even begin to tell you about that, brother.
I don't either. But I just know that, having played the sport and having played sports and working out and the whole thing too, like my whole life. All right. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm on a professional athlete's level because I'm not. But that being said, I mean, it's simple. Go out and get hit, every day and then try to be fresh on Sunday. Take a guy that gets hit every day and then let him play on Sunday. And then take a guy who gets hit, 3 days a week and go play on Sunday. It's got to favor. I would definitely think it would favor the guy who's only getting hit 3 times because you're just that much fresher. Your body's not as banged up. It really doesn't. For me, it doesn't equate for me, but there's definitely something that's got to be looked into. Concussions right now seem to be at another all-time high. It's one of my arguments. I don't know what is manufactured in the helmets. I would like to say that the helmets are as good as they used to be. Also, you might want to take a look at the pads too. I got an argument about cars nowadays, with all the accidents and things going on with cars and, kids getting killed. And my argument was, when we were younger, yeah, people used to get hurt, kids used to get hurt, but not of the level that they do today. And a lot of they blame it on the kids, but I believe the blame is on the car companies because they make the cars so inexpensively. They try to make them as cheap as possible. And, in some respects, the cars are a lot better. But as far as taking damage, physical damage, it's not the same as those big tanks that we used to drive. And I'm wondering if some of that is involved in the manufacturing of the NFL equipment as far as shoulder pads are concerned, as far as the helmets are concerned. Because I just don't – and I know some of the concussions got bypassed, because guys just said, oh, he just got banged up, get back in the game. But – I just don't really remember this many concussions, years ago.
Well, you got a lot more. As the game materializes, the hits are getting crazier.
Yeah, but I don't think the hits are any worse than they used to be.
I disagree, man. I think the level of play in the athletes is far superior than it used to be.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
All right, and looking at it, man, and most of the injuries, Dream, have been leg injuries.
A lot of leg injuries, but there's been a lot of concussions, dude. A lot of concussions.
I mean, speaking of concussions, Big Ben. has another concussion, man.
Right, and I'm talking about, you could go back to the year they used to kill each other out there. I mean, they're not even allowed to hit like they used to hit.
Well, they're definitely doing what they need to do as far as throwing flags.
Yeah,
targeting in college. Yeah, targeting in college and roughing the passer and roughing the kicker and roughing the holder. I saw that yesterday. You see the roughing the holder?
I didn't see the roughing the holder. What game was that?
I think it was. God, what game was it? I want to say it was Arizona. I think it was Arizona and San Francisco. The guy leaped over the line and ran into the holder, and it was a penalty there, man. So, hey, new stuff materializing every single day as far as the rule book is concerned with the NFL, and yeah, man. And Gronkowski, we talked about it earlier, knee injury. So you got Edelman, Amendola, and Gronkowski all banged up for the Patriots, man.
And see, that's one of the reasons why, I'm really on the fence and more towards like not getting involved. That's why, and I know you love it, I don't like getting involved in futures because now, you got a Patriot team that somebody said was going to go undefeated this season.
I had a prop, paid crazy, but whatever. Hey, it is what it is. I don't care. That's why you hedge, player.
I hear you. But my thing is you wouldn't have to hedge if you didn't get involved in it. So it's like unnecessary to me. Wait, it's just, especially with the dynamic of football, it's just too physical for me to get involved in that. And these teams, they almost never. We've been watching teams try to do this undefeated thing since '72 when the Dolphins did it. There's a reason why it's been since '72 since it's been done.
Well, the Patriots almost did it when they lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl.
Yes, they did.
It was very, very, very close to them.
Yes,
but, hey, Yato, good morning, man. What's going on? Canadian Cappers out here. Got a lot of people on Twitter with us at SBTV Nation. Happy holidays to everybody that's out there, man. Thanksgiving came and went. Dude, I must have put on 10 pounds, Dream. Because Thanksgiving wasn't just Thanksgiving, bro. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and now I feel like absolute crap. And I'm looking at all these fine fitness models that my man Yato was sending me and stuff like that, and I got to get back in shape, brother. Nasty between the drinking and the eating and the watching just football and just kind of staying stagnant and all that. My knees are kind of, I got to get out there and run and do something, man. How about you? How you feeling? How was your weekend?
The weekend was a little bit heavy. As far as my eating was concerned, a little bit bad. But you know what? I always put a little bit of weight on in the wintertime. I'll chisel it away as it goes. I don't fluctuate more than maybe about 7 pounds more than I usually run, so it's usually not too big of an issue. Usually just a week of clean eating, and I'm right back to my regular weight.
I think we need some fitness people to come on here and kind of get all of us into shape, myself included. And you know what? I think I'm gonna scurry the earth for a couple of females that could actually get on and kind of get my juices flowing in the morning to call into the show and kind of get us into shape, brother. I think that's what we need to do. We need something like that. I'm working on it, man. Just put it that way. I got to behind the scenes. I'm working on something a little bit, man. So, Monday morning quarterback dream.
Yes, sir.
We got to talk about it. We got to get started with it. We got about 10 minutes of it. Then we'll take a quick break and finish it off. But I'm looking at it here, and I'm looking at a couple of games. I mean, we're talking about the big one. Let's just jump right into the big one, man. Brock Osweiler comes back from a 14-point deficit in the fourth quarter and beats the undefeated New England Patriots 30-24 in overtime, man. Brock Osweiler, 23 for 42, 270 yards. Tom Brady had a pretty good game, 280 yards with 3 touchdowns. What's your thoughts on this particular game, man? You think the Broncos are for real?
I love a buck of all the trends because you got the one you had the home team dog on prime time.
Yep.
As in the Broncos, right?
Yep. Then
there's the adage of the old defense wins the games or defense wins championships, whatever, right?
Yep.
But yeah, a lot of people still wanted to take the Patriots. So my thing was, I said it yesterday on the show. The Patriots, to me, were just too banged up for even them. And Denver's defense, really good at home. Would keep the game in reach, which for the most part they did. Osweiler didn't kill him, didn't look great at the beginning of the game. He didn't kill him. I would not say, I don't know that I'm not, for those of you that think Peyton's a rap with them, I don't know. He did enough to win the game, but had it not been for that defense, forget it. You know what I'm saying? And he's. I struggle with him. He's okay. He's okay. I mean, maybe it's going to get better. We'll keep an eye on it's going to get better. But some of the decision-making skills and he panics and holds the ball and doesn't give him, classic rookie mistakes he makes. But, hey, they found a way to get the win. They willed themselves a win. He caught some guys in big spots, and they were able to capitalize on certain situations. And, hey, that's what's up. That's the name of the game.
Well, that first drive really surprised the hell out of me that the Patriots went up and down the field that fast. It was 7-0 in like a couple of plays, bro. It was done. I was
it
like,
didn't
whoa.
surprise me because I felt like the Broncos, the defense was a little bit overcharged, and they were overcommitting, overplaying. Tom caught them in bad spots. They needed just to settle down and relax, and I think that's what they did. As Brady just drove the ball down the field, they got a hold of themselves and settled back in the game. But yeah, from onlookers, you probably thought, Patriots got this. Forget it.
Right. And I did notice that eventually, as the game wore on, that the offensive line for the New England Patriots started being a little shaky, as we alluded to on the show. And sure enough, 3 sacks, 18 yards of losses as far as sacks are concerned. And I'm surprised there wasn't more sacks in the game, to be honest with you.
The snow slowed up the pass rush. Yeah, on both sides for sure.
Got it. All right, and so Denver Broncos are 9-2 and in the driver's seat as far as their division is concerned. Dream.
Yes, sir.
I think they're going to be all set, and they may even get that first round bye. I mean,
they're going to need it because everybody's banged up. I mean, they got DeMarcus Ware out. Obviously, the Peyton Manning situation. They had a little slight injury again yesterday to somebody else. I'm not remember quite who it was, but they're going to need it. Everybody, you need that bye. It helps you out at the end of the season to get a little bit more healthy.
Especially with a team like the Patriots or Broncos.
Yep.
Especially with a team like that. For a team like Carolina, I don't know if it really helps them being so hot. If they finish off this season pretty hot. You know what I mean? That might be a whole different situation. But, when you get older players, in your upper 30s or whatever, like Brady or Manning or whatever, I think the week off really helps those guys a lot versus some of the younger players. That's my own opinion. But
yep.
All right, so moving on to the next one, man. Let's just take a look. Son, the Raiders won.
The Raiders did win. We said the Raiders would win the game.
I didn't say that.
Oh, you didn't?
I did not say. I didn't say that Tennessee was going to win either.
Yeah, no. Dr. Dan and I leaned with him on the Raiders. I said, I think the Raiders would beat Tennessee, but why would get involved in it? But yeah, I wasn't. I mean, I'm not surprised they beat the Titans.
Oh, really? And you know what? Hey, big ups to Dr. Dan. And just to jump off of Monday Morning Quarterback for a minute, big ups to Dr. Dan for calling the Brooklyn Nets to win yesterday, huh? You and I laughed him off the show for that.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I wasn't getting involved in it, period. But, yeah, good call.
And Kobe Cove, the Black Mamba, is going to retire, man, at the end of the year.
Shocker.
Shocker, huh?
They want to tell Kobe Cove to think about maybe retiring now.
I feel you, man. I feel you. So the Raiders win. They're 5-6, still alive for an AFC wild card. But you know what? I think it's a tall order. I think they're, definitely getting better, man. Winning the games they're supposed to, Dream.
No doubt.
But hey, it is what it is. The Kansas City Chiefs continue their winning ways and win 30-22 over the 5-6 Buffalo Bills, man.
One of my games, I liked the Chiefs yesterday, and I was very impressed with what they did. It looked like the Bills were going to be pesty for a minute, which they were, but Chiefs came out and handled it. The weather was not a big of a factor as it was supposed to be. Oh.
You hate hearing that, huh?
I hate hearing a bad weather report.
All right, well, let's talk about weather real quick. Here's my feeling. Any team that's a predominantly rush effective team, like in when you're talking like downpouring rain.
Yep.
I mean, your traction is a little bit off, obviously, with the field conditions, depending on where you're playing. But for a run-oriented team that's relies heavily on the run, I feel like they have a slight advantage in downpouring rain because, I mean, we saw it in the TCU and Baylor game. They couldn't throw in that.
Right.
At all. Now, with snow, it becomes a little bit different because it's very, very slippery out there.
Yep.
So, as far as the pass rush, you're not really going to get a pass rush with the snow like you just talked about with the Denver Broncos and Patriots. So I think you could throw the ball a little bit better in the snow versus the rain.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So, that might be something that we need to take a look at once we get into some bad weather games moving forward, since it is going to be December tomorrow, Dream, and we're going to be seeing a lot more bad weather out there. Let's just take a look here. The Indianapolis Colts. This is the team I think is going to shock the world, baby. I'm telling you. Watch out for the Colts. The Buccaneers fall to 5-6. The Colts beat them. They are 6-5, and they won 25-12 in their building with Matt Hasselbeck throwing 315 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dream.
No doubt, another game that your boy was all over. Yeah, I liked the Colts yesterday too in yesterday's topic, but it was something, it was nasty. Most of these games,
they're all nasty.
We did leans, and it wasn't like I was saying to take them. So I'm not going to try. I'm not taking credit for that, but I did like the Colts to win this game some kind of way because they were home. I thought they would find a way to win, which they did, and big ups to them. I just thought that they had a lot of momentum, and like I said, remember I said that the Buccaneers had momentum, but I didn't think that they were winning in impressive fashion. It kind of were, clumsily winning. And I said that the Colts were winning, winning the games like they were supposed to. So that's what I meant, kind of what I was talking about.
Clumsily winning.
Clumsily winning. Stumbling, fumbling, bumbling into a win.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, I got to bring this game up. We got to talk about the NFC East, right now, the Washington Redskins have emerged as they are the top team in the NFC East with a 5-6 record as they beat the New York Giants 20-14 in Washington.
Giant fans, you know what? Because I'm going to take a minute with this. Because the first thing I'm going to tell you guys is this, because I live on the East Coast, right? All right? So we're in the middle of Giants, Jets, Patriots, okay? Now, of course, there's a lot of Patriot fans, but just so you guys know, when I was growing up, there were no Patriot fans. So most of the Patriot fans are really bandwagon fans. There were nobody like the Patriots. The Patriots were the worst team in football for decades when I was growing up. They were like a joke. Okay, nobody liked the Patriots. All right, so all the Patriot fans running around, I like them since they whatever. I struggle with some of that too, but it's cool if you like them now because they've been good for the last 10, 15 years, whatever. I gotcha. But 30 years ago, they stunk. I mean, stunk. Right. So now most of the people here, most of the East Coast people like the Giants. All right, and the Giant fans, you really need to let the Giants know that they need to do something with this coaching staff because they suck. You're coming off of a bye. You've got a chance to take the bull by the horn in this division, and you got to come in and win this game in Washington, coming off of an embarrassment against Carolina, all right? You got this quarterback in Eli Manning that you guys swear is so good. Odell Beckham in the circus. Listen, you can circus catch all you want. If at the end of the game you got a loss, who cares? All right? My thing with this team, and don't think that 14-20 score is at all indicative of this game because it's not. The Giants came out and looked as bad as it could be for a team. They had no energy. They had no urgency. They had absolutely nothing. It was like, oh, we're here. We're playing football. Oh, big deal. They're like, big deal. It was like, I did not see a worse performance out of a team. Even when they scored to get their first score, it still was like, it was a busted 4th and 16 play.
Yep. Dude,
this team's just awful. Their whole coaching staff should be just packed up and shipped out. I mean, this team's got no type of energy. Their body language stinks. This team just has me so agitated, and that's a terrible performance by them yesterday against a Redskin team that's not that good, but they go out there and they play really hard. They got energy, and they play like they want to win, unlike the Giants.
Sound a little salty today, brother.
I am very salty about that game.
Very salty about the New York Giants, man. Haven't you learned your lesson with the NFC East?
Son, you know what? It's funny you mention that. I lost this same game the year the Giants won the Super Bowl. Remember, I was with you at the bar.
You know what? You had a love affair with the Cowboys a few years ago. that I finally talked you off them after they were so talented and just never won a game for you. Then you jumped on the Eagles. Son, please don't go there with the Giants. Please.
Well, I mean, people in glass houses shouldn't be throwing
Oh, really?
boulders because should I have taken the Patriots to go undefeated this season instead? Moving on.
We're gonna
moving on, Playboy.
Hey, you know what, man? That was like I said, it was a prop that paid crazy. So hey, I got
put your little crystal ball away. I got a pop that pays crazy too. So you want to invest in every crazily played pop?
Guys, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. We are the SBTV Nation.
How would you like to win big cash in sports gaming? Well, now you can. Visit TKWins.com. With over 20 years of experience, they can get you the winning edge you need. Specializing in winning selections on all major sporting events. NFL, NCAA football, NBA, NCAA basketball. Why wait? Check out their free daily winners online. It's never been easier to visit TKWins.com today and start winning. TKWins.com. Consistently picking the winners for you.
Have a product, service, or website to advertise on the biggest show in the world? The SBTV Nation podcast reaches tens of thousands of the best sports fans on the planet in over 194 countries worldwide. Take your business to the next level by advertising with us. Call us now at 872-529-SBTV or email us at sbtvnation@gmail.com.
All right, Dream, we are back, getting ready to finish up Monday morning quarterback, man. Having a good time with you already, even though you're feeling salty. All right, guys, we are back, and we are ready to rock. Dream, you're still there, right?
I am, yes, sir.
Right,
Not feeling salty about you, feeling salty about the Giants.
Yes. All right.
Can't believe it. I just, you don't come off of a bye. You just look that like, I mean, there's these professional athletes, man, getting paid millions of dollars, man. You just would expect some type of energy, some type of, if you could watch, and I watched yesterday's game from top to bottom, that Giant game, dude, it was like they let the air out of the balloon.
Until Odell Beckham's nice catch, dude.
Even his catch, though, dude, you're looking at like those. You know what? If you put you ever go to the movies and you see a trailer and you're like, oh, I gotta go see that movie, and then you realize in the movie that the trailer was like the two best parts of the movie.
Oh yeah.
That's what Odell Beckham's catch, that one catch, and like a couple other things was all the Giants did yesterday. That's it. Everything else was horrible. They got a 10-second. Sports Center clip. And I know everybody's going to talk about Odell. Nobody's going to talk about how Odell Beckham dropped like 3 passes, all right? Didn't get open like 4 times on third down. I know he was all that they really had, but there was so much more that Odell Beckham didn't do aside from the circus catch when they're in desperation. They did need that, by the way, and I get it. But, I mean, how about not getting yourself in that situation?
Got you. Well, moving on to the next one. How about the Saints? 4-7, man. Lose again. 1-5.
Something about Texas winning yesterday, too.
1-5 away, man. Hey, you should be on the.
If I would just do the lead, son. If I would just do the lead.
I don't know why you don't, man.
It's that hour after the show that I just let my mind get sidetracked.
Man. The Texans win 24-6. Over the New Orleans Saints, and the Texans are 6-5 and 4-2 at home. And Brian Hoyer, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. Alfred Blue, 16 carries, 77 yards. Are the Texans for real?
No,
they're not, right?
No, but they're okay. I mean, they're improved from last year. They're going to be okay. The Texans were never a real bad team anyway. I mean, even back when they had Schwab at the quarterback, they're okay. They're improved, but they're not. They're not the Colts. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And
they're not the Colts.
Frank Vinculato is saying, good call on Osweiler ball.
Yeah.
Instead of Peyton ball. All right, moving on to the next one, man. 8-3 Vikings go into the Dome, into Atlanta, and beat the Falcons 20-10. And after the show, I ended up messing around with the Atlanta Falcons stream.
Well, like I said,
I just had a feeling. I had a feeling they'd bounce back, man.
Yeah, I was worried about that, but I just said, man, the Vikings are good. You bounce back against a bad team. It's hard to bounce back against a good team. I told you that Peterson would be able to run on that Atlanta defense, and he did.
He sure did, man.
And I told you that Matty Ice would make mistakes, and he did.
Unbelievable, this guy, man.
Dude, I don't know what happened. I have no. They must be like, and like, what do you do with him? Because, he's talented. Dude,
I had him on one fantasy contest, right?
Yeah.
He had 3 points in like the third quarter. Matty Ice. In the meantime, I got Doug Martin. I've got all these other guys, giving me all kinds of points and going absolutely crazy, man. And then, I got Matt Ryan, like, as a quarterback, thinking he's in the Dome. He's going to have at least, a 20 spot. Sure enough, finish off, actually got some points towards the end, 230 yards, but 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, man, this guy.
Right.
I don't know what's going on with them, brother.
Oh, man. They got issues. They're still going to be okay.
I don't know.
I think what's their schedule look like for the rest of the season? Do you have it pulled up by any chance?
I think they got to play Cam twice. Yeah. Tell me about it, man. Oh, wow. I think it's pretty brutal. Let me pull it up right now. We're talking about the Atlanta Falcons, guys. As far as the NFC South, let me just take a look. They got to play at Tampa Bay.
Yep.
They have to play at Carolina.
Yep.
They have to play at the Jags. So they should be able to win one of those games. Then they got to play Carolina at home, and then they got Breezy at home.
Got you.
5 games left.
Got you.
I don't know, man. I think this team's going to be more like an 8-8 team.
I think you're right.
It's pretty bad, man. After they started off so fresh, man. They started off, what, 5-0?
Started off, had a really good start.
5-0, and 6-1 they started off, and now they've lost 4 straight games. It's pretty brutal if you're an Atlanta fan right now, man. Unbelievable. Let's see. The game I gave out yesterday on the show with the point spread, and it was a laugher, was the Cincinnati Bengals, who win 31-7 over the St. Louis Rams. And how about Jeff Fishbone on the mic at the end of the game talking about the team's efforts and stuff like that?
Yeah, I told you I never really liked Jeff Fisher, and I still don't. I didn't like the Rams coming into this spot. I knew Cincinnati would bounce back coming off their losses. I like Cincinnati. As I gave out the Cincinnati Hornets, Arizona moneyline par.
Oh,
so.
There you go. Not bad. Not bad at all, man. Good job on that. Guys, we're on Twitter right now at SBTV Nation. A lot of our people are out there, 194 countries strong, retweeting our show, and we very much appreciate what you guys do for us. So moving on, so the Bengals are 9-2. Do you think the Bengals have any kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Any kind of playoff push in them to make it possibly to a Super Bowl this year?
I don't think that they're going to make it to a Super Bowl. I think they are going to make it further than they've made it in years past. But I don't think that they're going to Super Bowl.
Well, they're definitely going to have. What's the word I'm looking for? The bye week. That's for sure. Great. Let me add a guest on here and let's have a conversation with him. Good morning, Mr. Brian Mahoney. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, we're fantastic, brother. We're fantastic. We're just talking. We're doing a little Monday morning quarterback right now as far as the NFL is concerned, which we pretty much went through all the games. But now we're going to talk a little bit of hoops with you.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, definitely, man. How you been? How was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was great. Thanks. How about yourself?
Oh, we were great, man. Myself and the dream. Definitely just ate too much, drank too much, and sat on the couch too much, man. So now I got to kind of get back into the swing of things.
That's 3 for 3 right there. That's what that day's all about.
Hey, Brian, let's get right into this in the thick of the NBA. My very first question is, and I'm having an issue with this team, what is going on with the Los Angeles Clippers?
I think they're one of the most surprisingly disappointing teams in the league. This is a team that 2 or 3 years in a row, I've thought had finals talent, and I thought they upgraded it this year with the bench. But the bench hasn't, those upgrades haven't been upgrades yet so far, and it's putting way too much pressure on Chris Paul and particularly Blake Griffin. And I think DeAndre Jordan has not improved here. You hear that a lot from a lot of the analysts watching him on TV. Sometimes I used to think they were too hard on him. But by now, I think he should have evolved a little bit more with his game. And it hasn't really happened on the offensive end. So I think right now it's just they should have been more balanced, I think, coming into the season. Should have been less work for Griffin and Paul, and in fact, it's been the opposite. It's been kind of more work on them so far.
Gotcha. Definitely. I've just been very disappointed with them and watching them because, like you said, high expectations and just not getting anywhere. On the flip side of that, we've got a team emerging in the East that looks to be, somewhat relative in the conversation. I like what they've been doing lately, and that's the Charlotte Hornets, man. Off to a really good start, and I really like what I've been seeing out of them. What's your thoughts?
Especially at home.
Yeah, they've been great at home, 8-2, and they are a team that had a nice summer, I thought, as well. Getting Nick Batum, Jeremy Lin was a great backup signing. They've gotten something out of Jeremy Lamb, which the Thunder weren't able to get, and this is a nice second unit. Now, obviously, a little bit of concern right now with Al Jefferson went down yesterday with a little problem with his leg. Hopefully for them, that's not serious, but they're, to me, a playoff team in the East. As long as he's not hurt for too long. Last year they had injuries to both him and Kemba Walker, and they couldn't overcome that. This year I think they can, if they have injuries, with a much better bench. And, again, a good home court advantage, very good coach in Steve Clifford, who just got rightfully so, a contract extension. So I think certainly they're a team that should be in the top 8 in the East when it's all said and done.
Yeah, right now, if it ended right now, they'd be the 6th seed.
Yeah, and I think they could certainly get in that area. I don't think that's a stretch for them at all.
Should the Lakers wheel the wheelchair out now and ask Kobe to exit in that at this point?
Well, the thing is that they're not going to win either way. If they were to sit Kobe down, there's just not a lot of talent that kind of fill that spot. Certainly he's not playing well. I think he knows it. We all know it. The way he's shooting the ball is just terrible. But at the same time, it's not like there's a ready-made two-guard behind him to come in. So they just have to kind of. I think accept what the season is. They're going to be nowhere near the playoff race in the West. I think fans want to watch Kobe play, hope he plays better than he is, and then next year move on. Have money to spend. If they stay where they are, get a high draft pick, and then start this moving forward. It's 2016-17.
My issue with them, though, is I feel that while you're saying that they're not good, they do have some young talent, and I think my feel on it is Kobe may be hindering the unit from improving throughout the season as far as the young players and development is concerned. I think that he may be kind of hindering them from playing fluid and cohesive as a unit. You know what I mean? More because they're so apt to, give Kobe the ball, let him do his thing. Give Kobe the ball, let him do his thing. You know what I mean?
Well, I certainly can't disagree with you. I think a lot of people feel the same way. If they really want to, jumpstart their rebuilding, whatever, you would play Clarkson and Russell together a lot of minutes,
right.
And get them the ball, let them make the decisions, and not have to worry about getting it to Kobe. But it's a weird situation. That's not necessarily what Lakers fans want. I think if you ask them, do you want to win 35 games with Kobe watching or 25 games with Kobe playing, I think they would take the 25 right now. That's the kind of relationship they have with him, and I think they hope it just doesn't hurt them too much in the future. These guys will eventually become what they want to, just not right now.
Gotcha. I got to say that, in today's day and age, this is like one of the most puzzling situations, I think, in sports, because most sports shows no loyalty to their season or their aging athletes at the end of their career. And the Lakers, I thought that the Lakers kind of handcuffed themselves when they brought Kobe back and gave him the contract they brought him. I thought at that point it was definitely time to make a move. I even thought it actually would have been better for him too, to help his career and maybe go out on a good note. But it's just puzzling that in today's age that this team stayed with him, especially the level of especially when you think about the Laker organization, to stay with him. I guess I kind of respect that in him for like holding their word to him, and because you just don't see that anymore.
No, you don't. And that was certainly a loyalty contract. I mean, when they gave it to him, everyone knew coming off the injuries he was not going to be a great player anymore. Certainly not the player who would be the highest paid player in the league like he is. And you're right. Once they did that, it took away any ability they really had to upgrade the team with another superstar, another max-type guy. They were able to, yes, get lower-priced pieces in there this summer. I mean, they made a couple of moves. But when they did that, it was basically saying we're more committed to having Kobe finish his career with a Laker and pay him what he's done in the past than they were to find a way to be back in the mix again. And I can't necessarily blame them. Again, knowing what he's meant to them, knowing how much their fans care about him. But at the same time, once they did that, it's kind of like, all right, well, you've made your choice now, and don't think you're going to fool us and think you're going to be a competitor now when you're paying a 37-year-old guy who's been injured $25 million a year.
Sure. I totally agree with that.
Definitely.
Agree. Hey, there's another team that's emerging that we have not been talking about, Dream, and I think we have to pay them some attention, and that is the Indiana Pacers in the East. They're 11-5. What's your take on them, Sean?
They've been terrific, and I did not expect them to be this good. I think Paul George is going to be the player of the week after last week, and he had 3 30-point games. One of them was a 40-point game, and they've won 5 in a row, and they're doing it with an offense in a lot of ways. This was a team who, even when they had their great teams a couple of years ago, was a team that did it almost entirely with their defense and was not imaginative at all offensively. Right now, they're scoring the ball terrifically, and it totally changed up their way of playing, and everyone's happy to see Paul George playing great after the horrible injury he had. So, yeah, this is a team that certainly has exceeded expectations, and they're fun to watch right now.
Absolutely. And one more team that is on my brain that, you know what, everybody's just talking Golden State in the West, and nobody's going to beat them, whatever. I say not so fast. I really, really enjoy watching this Oklahoma City Thunder team. Talk to me about what your thoughts are on them.
Well, the Thunder are interesting. Obviously, we know that if Durant and Westbrook stay healthy, there's not a 1-2 force like that. They're going to put points on the board, and they're going to be almost impossible to stop. But at the same time, their defense has not been there yet. That may come with time. But so far they've been a team that maybe it's just the pace they play out, whatever. But they give it up almost as fast as they score it, and that's got to be ratcheted up. Perhaps it will. But, and obviously Durant and Westbrook have to stay healthy. They haven't done that the last couple of years at the same time for long enough. If they do, yeah, I mean, who wants to play them? But right now, at least, they're a step below, certainly in the standings, but I think overall, Golden State and San Antonio.
Yeah.
My thing with the Thunder, too, is they just use so much energy, it seems like. When they win a game, it's like their guys, it's like they're just like wiped out. Like they used up the whole thing to win the game. And as the season just wears on, it just, by the end of the season, it's like they're spent.
Well, that could be part of the problem. Yeah, I mean, when you're forcing yourself to be that good offensively, I mean, right now they're as far as looking at contenders, they're probably as bad as anyone defensively, giving up just about 103 a night. And yeah, that's you think that's not anything really for them to score, but you don't want to have to do that every single game.
Right.
You'd like to be able to do what Golden State can do and rest their guys once in a while in the fourth quarter. I mean, you hardly ever see Steph Curry in the fourth quarter. Obviously, that's you don't see necessarily. I'm not saying you should blow teams out the way they do, but you'd like to once in a while win comfortably enough that you can have that opportunity, especially knowing guys have been coming off injuries, and right now at least they're not defending well enough to do that.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. So, and moving over to the games tonight, I'm just taking a look at a few here. Brian, could you just tell everybody once again, guys, we're talking to Brian Mahoney right now. Could you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, like what your current position is, please?
Sure. National NBA writer for the Associated Press, based in New York, where I cover locally the Knicks and the Nets, and I do all our NBA league office stuff in our main NBA events, All-Star Game, NBA Finals, and I cover the U.S. Olympic team. I've covered the last couple of Olympics and the World Basketball Championship, international basketball for the last 10 years. So that's kind of all my focus in one there.
Fantastic. And we're looking at this couple of big games tonight here. I'm looking at one that's got me definitely intrigued, and I'm definitely going to be watching it, flipping back and forth between this and the nasty Monday Night Football game we got tonight. We got the San Antonio Spurs coming into the Chicago Bulls. And the Bulls are San Antonio's minus 3.5 with an under over 190. You know what? I'm looking at this. I think the Bulls, they're kind of disappointing this year to me, personally. I know they're 9-5 and have a winning record and all that. They are 5-1 at home. What's your thoughts on the Bulls?
Well, obviously they've had to go through as big an adjustment as a team can make in one season, going from defensive-minded Tom Thibodeau to Fred Hoiberger's kind of playing, a different, obviously, pace and looking to score more. And, I think Jimmy Butler has flourished in that a little bit, but it's hard to, for everyone to kind of do it quickly. And, obviously we haven't seen Joe Canoa anywhere near he was when Tom Thibodeau was there, and Derrick Rose still has to be on the court enough to really see what he can do, and that hasn't happened. He just came off the injury a little bit as well with the ankle. So I think Chicago is ultimately, when it's said and done, a top 2 or 3 team in the East, but they haven't necessarily been able to show that yet. I think they will later on when everyone figures it out and they play together enough, but you're right, we haven't seen that so far.
Absolutely. Dream, any thoughts on this game here?
No, I don't have any thoughts. I'm still, like you said, I don't think that they've been disappointing. I think that when you change philosophies as drastically as they've changed,
good point.
It's going to be a work in progress, and I think this is part of what we're seeing is their work in progress. I mean, you went from a completely defensive-minded team to now being a more offensively-minded team, so it's a work in progress for them. And I actually don't think that they've been that bad. I think that they've, I think they've put out something solid. As far as tonight's concerned, though, no thoughts.
Yeah, they've been winning kind of ugly. That's what I'm kind of alluding to over there. So, guys, right now you're listening to Mr. Brian Mahoney from the Associated Press. Brian, thank you very much for calling in. We really appreciate you calling in and breaking down the NBAs, especially after Turkey Day.
Brian, what's up with the new Michael Jordan, Mr. Porzingis? Living on the East Coast, it's like Michael Jordan's back.
he certainly has become the new star in New York. That's for sure.
We see that every time a new talent comes into New York. Like I remember, what was the other kid's name that a couple of years ago? I forgot it.
Jeremy Lin.
Yeah, Jeremy Lin. That's it. Yeah,
it's felt that way a little bit the last few games. He's the guy who you weren't necessarily expecting to have a great season. All of a sudden, has become a fan favorite and a very, very good player. And the team, up until this little losing streak they're on, was winning some games. And he's the crowd is chanting for him the same way they kind of did for Jeremy during that run.
Oh, absolutely. I know. I remember you couldn't even get a Jeremy Lin jersey. It was like crazy. And tickets to the game, forget it.
Oh, exactly. That was an amazing 2 or 3 weeks for a team that has not had many of them in the last 10 years or so.
Yeah, you're
Definitely
right. Absolutely.
Definitely not. So, all right, guys, thank you very much. Once again, you're listening to Brian Mahoney from the Associated Press. Can you tell everybody where to find you on social media, please?
Oh, definitely. I'm on Twitter at Brian C. Mahoney.
All right, sounds good, Brian. Thank you very much. And
Brian,
always love talking to you about the NBA. And, hey, if we don't talk to you before then, happy holidays.
Same to you guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, brother.
Thank you,
Take
sir.
care.
All right.
Gotta love the NBA knowledge, Dream.
No doubt. Definitely.
So, looking at this here, as far while we're on the NBA ticket, because we do have a nasty football game on tonight.
Yes, we do.
And you know what? We'll talk about that right after we talk about the NBAs. But looking at the card, you got your Miami Heat that are hosting the Boston Celtics tonight. What's your thoughts on that?
Yes, we do. Heat, probably a tough game for them. I like them though in this particular matchup. The lean would definitely be towards them. Obviously, got to get rid of any type of point situation you would have involved there. I think the number out of Vegas is 5.
5 points, brother.
5. Yeah, that's not really that bad actually. Celtics play hard. Celtics did play last night. They played and they lost yesterday, I believe. Yep, they lost to the Magic. And then so they're already in Florida, so it's not like they had to travel because they're playing the Heat. So, I
think the Heat.
I like the Heat. Yep, I think the Heat win. I still would be careful with the points in case they get a little sloppy. But the Heat should win, and they probably should handle that number. Just be careful.
Definitely. I like them, too. I think they get the job done as well, man. I'm not a big advocate of them in the East, but for the most part, I think they can,
The Heat are dope, son. I love you. I'm not a big advocate for the East. Well, who else do you like, son, in the East? Think about it.
Watch out for the Pacers, player.
Oh, stop it.
Watch out for the Pacers, I'm telling you.
That Pacer team, kid, really?
I'm telling you.
Go in there.
Pacers are kind of dope, man. Watch out.
Dude.
Watch out for the Pacers. I'm
All
telling you.
right,
Watch
man.
out. Watch out.
The Heat is the second best team in the East. The Heat, obviously, we'll see what's going on with Chicago because it's a work in progress. But I do think that the Heat is the second best. If anybody's going to challenge the Cavs, it's going to be the Heat. I don't see the Pacers being a challenge for the Cavs the way they're built. The Heat are more built to play with the Cavs as far as I'm concerned.
Better watch out. Birdman's on a day-to-day.
Yeah, I know. That's your boy.
Birdman, son. Birdman. And they got Stoudemire, too. He's not expected to play Monday versus the Celtics. So
yeah, I
something
know.
to keep in the back of our brains while we're talking about that. And Marcus Smart for the Boston Celtics is not on crutches and is unlikely to play in the upcoming 5-game road trip. So Marcus Smart is out for the Boston Celtics, guys. Keep that in the back of your brains when you're out there investing in these particular teams. So as far as the NBA, I don't really see anything else that's tickling my fancy, Dream.
Nope.
Do you?
Nope.
All right. So we're going to journey over to the nasty Monday Night Football game we've got because we have to have a conversation about it, even though it is one of the worst, and that is the 3-7 Baltimore Ravens still have slight playoff hopes still alive because the AFC there's been so much parity in the AFC. 1-4 away, coming into the 2-8 Cleveland Browns, who are 1-3 at home, and the Cleveland Browns are -3.5 with an under/over of 41. And obviously, Baltimore, Flacco is done for the year. Dream.
Yes, sir.
So
Another one of them injuries.
you're going to see Schwab.
I know.
You're going to see Schwab, man. What's your thought? First of all, offensive statistics for Baltimore, you can pretty much throw those out the window without Flacco in there. Not that they were all that anyway. But, looking at this, man, you got Cleveland is favored -3.5. I think there's a reason for that.
I don't really understand it.
You don't understand it?
They're as bad as the Ravens are.
They are bad.
Dude, this is a bad game. But to me,
game.
honestly,
You think?
the best quarterback on the field is still Schwab.
Yeah. Okay.
The best coach would be, Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Then the rest is I don't really know, but it's really got the dynamic for a really awful, ugly, nasty game. Guys, don't.
I mean, when the people make the schedules in the beginning of the year, I mean, how do they get all these? I mean, it's just the way it works. I guess they don't anticipate the Baltimore Ravens being this bad.
They don't, and they expect. And Cleveland was a little bit better than this last year too. They really tanked this year.
Yep.
They were a little bit better, and I mean not a lot. And then you had the dynamic of Manziel and not knowing whether he was gonna emerge and be an exciting quarterback or that guy that people wanted to see. So I think that might have something to do with the the scheduling of it too. But bad as it gets for a game lined up tonight.
Yeah, man. What do you got? Josh McCown in there.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh, God, dude.
Manziel is demoted down to third string after the party videos and stuff like that. Dream, I didn't think the party videos were that bad.
It's not that. I told you before. It's not about the video being that bad. It's about, hey, listen, we told you we didn't want you partying. It's the regular football season. Let's get through the season. Let's keep our mind on football. You're our guy that we're trying to make our starting quarterback. So we're putting our faith in you. We want you to reward us with being focused on what you have to do. And he didn't do that.
Well, we talked about it on Houston radio on Friday night. I think that's where we had this conversation. And, all the wild nights that I've had, all the craziness, nobody got a video of your boy.
Nah, no doubt. I mean, because nobody wanted a video of you either, by the way.
I'm just saying. Yeah, you know what? I mean, even though the video is not that bad.
No, the video is not bad, but that just goes to show you about the people that you hang around with and the company you keep. Because obviously, somebody took a picture of him, and it's unnecessary.
Well,
but my thing with him is, dude, you're getting paid millions of dollars to play pro football. You've already just partied a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Do you think you could chill out for a couple of parties right now? I mean, it's not like you're going to the playoffs.
At least do it in the off season.
That's what I'm saying. Not like you're going to the playoffs.
I mean, he was sitting there and he was cursing and, giving a finger to the camera and singing and all that. So he clearly knew that he was being videotaped.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that it had to be somebody that he somewhat trusted, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's Dusty, man. Whoever that is, man, I'd be so pissed at them for
That's why I said
video.
You got to be careful with a company you keep at all times. Dude, that's just a bad situation for him. But, hey, he's going to be somewhere else.
Marlon said I got a future bet on the Pacers. You never know, player. You know what, though? I got to be honest. I got to be honest with you, man. I bet against my boy last year, and that's not going to be the case this time. If I do, it's just going to be to back it up. You feel me?
Yep.
So, anyway. All right, so that's pretty much it as far as that is concerned. Looking at this particular game, I think, you know what? I really think that Cleveland is in a must-win situation. I think Cleveland can win this game, Dream.
Yep.
Call me crazy, but just being at home under the lights on prime time, I think that they get their third win of the season and win this game. And I think there's a reason why they're giving it 3.5 points. I don't like the 3.5. I don't even like it at 2.5. I think it's better as a money line situation and maybe leave it open for something else. But that's just a lean, guys. You know what? There's way better games on the ticket in the other sports to get involved in. I just think I'm leaning Cleveland to win this game. I think Cleveland wins it at home. So that's pretty much it. Journeying over to the ice, Dream, because we already did NBA. We already did the NFL. And now we have the ice on the ticket. And I'm taking a look at some of the matchups, and there are quite a bit. Actually, there's 4 total. And I think the New York Rangers losing 3 games in a row, Dream. I think, number 1, the public's going to be all over them. Number 2, I think the SBTV Nation is going to be all over them. And number 3, I think the hosts of the SBTV Nation are going to be all over them as well. And I think you concur with that, with the Carolina Hurricanes coming into town.
Yeah, Carolina's not good. The Rangers, though, I don't know quite what's been going on. I can't really put my finger on what their problem is right now. So I'm one of those guys, though, I obviously lean the Rangers, but personally, until they get a win, I really wouldn't get financially involved yet. I need to. We saw this happen with the Islanders when they went through that little bad spurt, and they're kind of coming out of it now. When they just were losing games, that you kept scratching your head. You're like, why'd they lose that game? How are they losing to them? So, while I want to lean Rangers, they're in a funk right now. So, my recommendation is not.
No, huh?
No, I want to see them. Let's see him win a game and get back to winning, and then we can get back with him, because I don't know what's going on with him right now. That's just my feel.
All right, I got you. I could understand you being nervous about Carolina, considering that the Panthers are going to go to the Super Bowl. But I get it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good.
Because I love all the Carolina talk. And see, what'll happen is, when Carolina gets beat, then it'll be no big deal. Oh, I just hedge out of it, Dream. It's no big deal. Oh, don't worry. It's always no big deal after the fact.
Let me explain something to you. I've been watching a lot of football, brother, and I got to be honest with you. The Carolina Panthers are one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL right now.
Okay.
Telling you, man.
All
they
right.
got the defense. They got the offense. They got the quarterback.
Okay.
As long as he don't get injured. If he gets
injured, they're not going to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
They're not.
I watched Arizona struggle yesterday.
They're not, and teams will struggle.
And who's going to beat them? Green Bay?
And teams will struggle. In my opinion, Green Bay could beat them.
No way.
Seattle could beat them, and Arizona could beat them.
Green Bay and Seattle.
I'm just telling you. In my opinion, they could.
Carolina versus the Colts, baby. Pays crazy. Just saying. Moving over to the next one here, we got your Isles coming into town here. They're hosting the Colorado Avalanche, and the Isles are minus 170 with an under-over of 5.5. Any interest in the New York Islanders?
Yeah, I like the Islanders tonight. I think that's a better spot than the Rangers, to be honest with you, because the Avalanche is just, I don't know what happens with that team. But my lead would be the Islanders tonight. I think that I think they'll win this game. And the Avalanche they don't really travel that great. The Avalanche, There's a whole lot of things that they don't do that great combined also. And the Islanders have picked up their play a little bit.
All right. Sounds good. And then there's 2 more games on the ticket, but I don't know if you're getting involved with either one of those. No. I can't see the Toronto Maple Leafs being favored to anybody.
Nope.
5-16. this team is, and they're favored tonight. Crazy. So that doesn't say much for the Edmonton Oilers. And you got the Canucks coming into the Ducks. And the Ducks minus 125 tonight, Dream. So that's pretty much it, man. Do you see any NCAA basketball that is on your radar?
No, I'm pretty much done. Let me go take a look real quick over there and see what we got going on for Monday night. Let's see.
And did Michigan State win last night, Dream?
They did.
They did, huh? That was a really late game for them last night. So looking at the college basketball, guys, I don't really see anything that's tickling my fancy either.
I mean, you got Kentucky playing Illinois State, but I'm sure it's like 50 points or something. Ridiculous.
50, huh? Is that what you think?
Yeah, something crazy.
20,
yeah.
Not bad.
Not too bad. And you also got what's Vegas got for a spread for Indiana?
Indiana. Let's take a look at Indiana. Indiana is 34.5 point favorite over Alcorn State, who has not won a game. Alcorn State is 0-5 and 0-5 away. Man, they have not been home yet. Indiana 4-1 at home and 4-2 overall, brother.
Yeah, no, I don't like that either. Obviously.
What, you don't want a money line that?
Yeah, right.
Just pull like 20 of them together. Maybe you'll get like half your money.
Yeah, right, exactly. No, I'm good with that.
All right, sounds good, guys. So that's pretty much going to do it for us. We are the SBTV Nation and had a good time today with you, Dream.
No doubt, definitely. Monday morning quarterback's always fun. I'm just trying to think because I know we shut down for a minute and we didn't hit every particular game. Was there any other game you want to talk about yesterday?
Oh, as far as the NFL?
Yep.
Seattle and Pittsburgh, but that's about it.
I really thought that Pittsburgh outplayed Seattle, and I still am telling you, I still think that this Seattle. Okay, well, two things. Actually, first we need to talk. There's a couple things we need to talk about. One, we need to talk about the Jets showed up yesterday, beat the brakes off the Dolphins,
which I didn't see happening.
And dude, Tannehill, dude, son,
brutal.
Who's the backup?
Mike Miller, I believe.
They might want to think of going in that direction, man. I'm just telling you.
No, I'm sorry. Mike Miller. That's who? Matt Moore.
Matt Moore. They might want to even let Birdman see if he could play, quarterback. You know what I mean? For Miami. Since he's dude, they got to do. That's bad.
Oh, I know. Brutal. That was like Cap for San Francisco.
But at least they knew they shut Cap down. You guys still keep putting Tannehill out there, dude. Oh, my gosh.
It's nasty.
But anyway, that being said, they got beat up yesterday bad by the Jets. Tannehill threw some seriously bad interceptions in the red zone that I was like, wow, this guy is just brutal. Other thing is, you mentioned the Cardinals and you mentioned them against the Niners. I heard it last night on Sunday Night Football, and they said, Arizona had played 2 primetime games on TV back-to-back during the week, and sometimes that's a little much for you when you come in a little bit stale the following weekend. That's where he thought that they were. They still got Floyd coming off of his injury, and then they ended up losing Chris Johnson yesterday left the game as well.
Yep.
He didn't play the full game for them. So I'm not going to be too worried about Arizona. And by the way, that's why we money line. I'm not going to be too bothered by Arizona with that little hiccup against the Niners. You're entitled to a game or two like that. I mean, if you go back and look at Carolina in some of the earlier games in the season, they struggle with a couple of the weak teams as well.
Yeah. I mean, any division matchup, any division rival, I get it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And then the Seahawks game, the Steelers I thought outplayed the Seahawks, but the Seahawks won the game anyway. I really questioned the 4th down play, not going for it by Tomlin.
I was saying the same thing because you know what? If you're a defense, you got them pinned on the 4.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I question that call. I get it, though, getting the points up and trying to move it. And it's a chess match. You know how they play the game. But I do question that call. But the Seahawks, to me, still are somewhat dangerous. They're not who they used to be, though. They're not that Legion of Boom team. Their defense is not, I don't know what happened to their defense, but it's just not where it used to be. But they're still pretty good, and if you sleep on them, they're still built to sneakily beat you in a playoff game, and they're going to probably back in a wild card spot, and you're going to probably be that team that nobody really wants to play. They got experience at that level, been to the Super Bowl back-to-back years, so I mean they've got the experience and the pedigree to be a problem in the NFC wild card. So keep an eye on them, as I think that I think that they're definitely a team to keep your eye out on, because they're sneakily getting a little bit better and finding a way to get themselves in the playoffs.
The offensive line, though, man.
Yeah, I know, but they still put up 39 points.
The offensive line, I mean, Russell Wilson only got sacked twice, but still, I mean, I saw him hurry quite a bit. And what I've noticed is that, with running backs like Rawls and Gurley and all that, these teams are starting to zero in on him. And Rawls, I mean, he had 81 yards yesterday, but it just seems like, sometimes as the tape develops and, week to week, they start zeroing more on the run, the defenses. And I think he's going to be less of a factor moving forward, this Rawls kid. I think he's all right. You know what I mean? But I just don't know. I'm not a believer in Seattle. I know they're 6-5 and, trying to make they're probably looking more like a NFC wild card, but being on the road in the playoffs, having to go to either Arizona or, let me just think about this for a minute. Well, the first round, if you think about wild card weekend, you'd have either the winner of the NFC East or what other division?
Well, we know we know it's not going to be, like you said, it's not going to be the NFC East.
The NFC East, they would have to go there, or possibly to the winner of the North.
Yep.
With Green Bay or Minnesota.
Right.
They might be able to win those games.
That
one game, that's it. Then when you got to go to Arizona or Carolina, that's when you get stopped.
Okay.
That's it. All right. Why don't you go get a future on Seattle player?
Because I don't do those. That's your thing, baby.
Come on, baby.
Boy.
Come on. I thought you were getting involved with you. I thought my futures were dope, but when they win, yeah. I got big ups to Hatter for his futures. All of a sudden, yeah.
I don't like futures. My thing is I don't like futures in football though, because just especially with the injuries this year, dude. I mean, I can't count on any. Russell Wilson could go out and get his leg broken next week. You know what I'm saying? Football is just brutal this year with the injuries. They got to look at it. I think they're cutting corners on the manufacturing of the equipment. I don't know. Something's going on. I don't like it. But anyway,
all right.
We're going to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for listening to us and our madness and doing what we do, which is, run our mouth a little bit. You know what I mean?
Just a touch. We know everything on Monday Morning Quarterback. We can coach all these teams to the Super Bowl.
No doubt.
Well, at least the dream can. I don't know about me, but it's all good, baby. It's all good. It's all good. So, got a nasty game tonight. We got a bunch of NBA tonight. We got some NHL. I love the Rangers tonight. I think the Rangers bounce back and win their game. So that is what your boy is on. And
I like a little bit of a money line parlay. Heat, New York Islanders.
Heat and Islanders.
Very easy, very light, kind of simple. You might want to get involved in that. Take a look. Make sure you like it. Check your goalies. Check your lineups. Make sure everybody's in, because Dwayne Wade might not be in the game. Make sure he's playing. Make sure everybody's 100%, and maybe you could give it a fire. I want to thank everybody that's listening and retweeted the show this morning. We got my man MJ86, Jack, Terrence Mack, KMVU, Angelo Nunez, Buster Carr, The Pick, Joseph Del Rosario's out there, SD Grind, John Copey's out there, Direct Sports Solutions is out there as well, Andy Papalardo. We got BT out there. What's going on, brother? We got Frank Vincalato, Lone Star Hombre, C. Rodriguez Jr., Clown Man Swag. The Patriots have now went down, and if you lose Gronkowski, the hopes of repeating the Super Bowl don't look good, brother.
Well, especially if they got to play Carolina. But go ahead.
OJFB's out there, Nicholas J. Christos. Son, you are going to be so sorry. You are going to be so sorry. Mr. Scott Weaver's out there retweeting the show. Thank you so much, Scott Weaver, for retweeting. Hatter is joining that club of plugging a team and going to end up upset at the end of the season when he gets disappointed. You got a very tough game coming up against North Carolina that you got to keep in mind with that Clemson team of yours. Ciroc King Jay's out there, Mr. Marlon, the incredible Marley Marr, Jay Cass, Rick Lopez, Jeff Ryan, Vegas Girl 92661, my boy Irvin's out there, Benjamin Rowe, Sin City Maverick, Long Woo, LA WizKid, JC, MC Money, Stoopy Best, the Canadian Capper, Sir Mata, Heavy 365, Jason Riley, Papa Smurf, Average Joe Punter, and so many more. Guys, as you know, I am the dream. Always remember who you're with and make the most of each and every day, as you cannot get this time back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great show today. Just ready to start a brand new week of winning and rocking and rolling and having a ball, man. We love you to death. Go out there. Go easy, guys. Go easy with all these games, especially the nasty Monday Night Football game. Listen, you know what?
Oof.
If this game was smack in the middle of a Sunday night card or a Sunday card, would you play it, yes or no? If the answer's no, then you shouldn't be playing it tonight. Do your own homework. Get involved in all your own plays. Make all your dreams a damn reality and get that money.
Hey, one more thing. I want to just send real quickly. Sorry about this. Nicholas J. Want to send a big shout out to Nicholas J, man. Dude has been supporting us since day one. Always sends his shout out. Always is up. You know, always sends me words of encouragement.
Yes. Always
is just like such a cool person. I have not seen one negative comment out of his mouth. Great personality, and a lot of you are the same way. Don't get me wrong, but just want to send a special shout out to him about that, because dude has just always been like right there for us. And Nicholas, hey, we appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely, man. Take care, guys.
Peace.